It's the 76th running of the BC Derby, the final leg of the Western Canadian Triple Crown.
We're joined by Dylan and Gentry from Century Mile, as well as Kurt from Assiniboia Downs.
Well, thanks, Mike. And we're on. There won't be a Triple Crown champion this year, but there is a talent-laden field for the BC Derby. 6 will go postward. And this talent-laden field, I think, is led by number 5, Sunbird. Sunbird had 4 wins in a row going into the Canadian Derby, but he never got his trip in there. A poor beginning put him behind the leaders in an unfamiliar spot. But what I like about what Sunbird did, it kept running right to the end, only lost by 9, running 5th. But here in the BC Derby, I expect Sunbird to be the speed of the race and probably clear the field. And if that does happen, I think Sunbird is definitely the horse to beat. You get the leading Terry Jordan as trainer. He's always been a 30% winning trainer. And I just like how he had the horse coming into the Canadian Derby. I would like to see him on the front end, battling it out to really show what he was all about. So I'm going straight to number 8, Sunbird, putting a big win bet. I'm going to put 80 to win. And I also like the horse that ran 3rd behind him, Accidental Hero, rallied from the back to run 3rd behind Sunbird in the Sir Winston Churchill. Came back in the Canadian Derby. Also made a big late run to run 3rd once again. I'm having it down to these 2. So 80 to win on Sunbird. And I'm going to add a $20 exactor to number 4, Accidental Hero. So 5-4 exactor. Good luck with that wager. And over to Dylan and Gentry.
My top pick from the BC Derby will be number 4, Accidental Hero. 2-1 on the morning line for trainer Larry Grieve. Camille Santo aboard once again. 3rd in the Canadian Derby and ahead of 6-5 boarding line favorite Sunbird with a troubled trip, having to check up on the back stretch. I think there will be a lot of early pace in this race and will set up nicely for Accidental Hero's closing running style.
I do also like Accidental Hero in here, but I went with the speed of the race, the 5 Sunbird for trainer Terry Jordan. This horse is the lightest race of the field, but has been the most consistent, winning 4 of 5 of its lifetime starts. Looking back at that last start in the Canadian Derby, finished 5th, but just didn't get the trip that this horse needed or wanted. All of those wins have come from the lead. I don't think there'll be anybody there to contest him. I think with a nice clean sharp break, jockey Antonio Reyes will get him into a good spot.
My wager for the BC Derby will be a $10 exacta wheel 4 with all for a total cost of $50.
One a little smaller than you, took a $5 exacta wheel on the 5 with all.
Thanks, Gentry and Dylan. We don't have too many horses coming into the BC Derby, but we have a lot of talent. Mike, who do you like here?
Well, I'm going to try Space, even though he's the least seasoned in stakes company, and that's why he didn't get in the Canadian Derby. He had a nice maiden score here in Vancouver. He looked like a stakes horse that day. He's had to come up off of works because he couldn't get in the Canadian Derby, but I think he might be good enough to beat a horse like Sunbird and Accidental Hero, who are, I think the 3 local horses really shine in here. I'm going to try Space in a triactor. I'm going to key the 3 over the 4 and 5, but all 3 are really nice. Sunbird's a nice horse. He's flawless here in Vancouver, and he's just been brilliant for Terry Jordan. And Accidental Hero, he was closing well at the end of the Canadian Derby. He's a nice horse. I was just a little worried maybe about the pace scenario, which is why I've left him in 2nd or 3rd, but a little more price on Space, and I think he will be the best price of the 3, so I'm going to do a triactor 3 over the 4 and 5.
Yes, Space has definitely been catching some eyes here training in the morning. I am going to head to number 5, Sunbird, hold true to him. He was my Canadian Derby pick, had a little bit of an unfortunate trip that day, but he's looking for redemption over his home turf. Watching him train, he's feeling good every day. He's being escorted to and from with the pony now. And Accidental Hero ran a very game 3rd in the Canadian Derby, win racing, and trainer Larry Greaves had an excellent weekend last weekend. They're hoping to keep that momentum. I'm going to do a $10 exactor box, 4 and 5 for the BC Derby.
Make sure you join Dan and myself for the pregame show at 1 o'clock. You can watch it live on our YouTube channel.
And don't forget about the guaranteed $20,000 pick 4, along with 3 other big stake races. Post time is 2 p.m. with the BC Derby going off around 5:30 p.m.